Hello and welcome to this free immigration help channel. On this channel you can ask questions in the comments below and I will be happy to answer them. Questions regarding your immigration status, immigration process, your case, so far so forth. This particular video I wanted to talk about definitions and specifically undocumented immigrants and legal immigration versus illegal immigration. There's a lot of misconception whenever it comes to these particular terms, legal alien, illegal alien, and we frequently see political articles, news that talk about the immigration, that talk about legal immigrants, they talk about illegal immigrants, but a lot of times it creates that confusion. Like for example, this article right here: how many undocumented immigrants are in the United States, and who are they? And if you ask yourself a question, if you don't really think about it, it seems like undocumented immigrants, it's something that shouldn't be the case, right? It's not good. But what is the definition of undocumented immigrant? Are undocumented immigrants legal immigrants, or are they illegal immigrants? And what is the difference between the two? Is there a fine line between legal immigration and illegal immigration? Now, I am not in any way in support of illegal immigration. That's one of the reasons why I started this channel in the first place, because I want people who truly, genuinely have good intentions to immigrate, to come in to this country, to the United States, and do things legally, do things the right way. And this is the people who I have created this channel for. In no way I am in support of illegal immigration. But in any case, there is no strict line between the two, because sometimes people who start processes, legal processes, their immigration processes, they do get sometimes into that illegal zone, and that's what I wanted to talk about in this channel, so that there is understanding. Whether you're an immigrant, whether you're a US citizen, not immigrant, who was born here and wants to understand actually what that means. So let's talk first about the undocumented immigrants, something that this article is talking about here. What does it mean, undocumented immigrants? This term by itself creates a lot of misconception, like I already mentioned. Undocumented, meaning that people, these immigrants, do not have documents. But here is the thing: a person who came here with a visa, so he or she legally entered the country, and then they applied for, let's say, an asylum status. Until they are waiting for their interview and the decision, they don't have anything. They don't have a legal right to work until 5 months, 6 months expire till they can file for those documents. But before that, they don't have any kind of status. In fact, by that time, their visa is no longer valid, because now they applied for an immigration status, so their visa is no longer valid. So they basically do not have visa. They are in this pending asylum status, and they don't have any documents. They don't have employment authorization document. They don't have social security card. Now you can go and get your driver's license, but then again, there are a lot of states out there where an illegal immigrant who does not have, who maybe crossed the border illegally, right? Or who maybe came here with a visa but then overstayed the visa and now here in the country illegally, and then he or she goes to the DMV and can get a driver's license. There are states like that, like liberal states. Some of them, they have that. They don't verify the immigration status. So on one side, we have a person who is legally doing everything, who is following the immigration process properly, but does not have any documents, and in some states it's very hard to go and get in the DMV. From my personal experience, I've seen people going to the DMV with the immigration paper showing that they are pending asylum, and DMV saying no to them in getting a driver license or even an ID. So you are undocumented until you can go and get your employment authorization document and then apply to Social Security. You are considered undocumented. But then we have this illegal immigrant who in a liberal state can go and get a driver's license without any kind of immigration status. In fact, his immigration status is being here illegally in this country. He doesn't have a valid visa, he doesn't have a valid immigration process going, but he can go and get a driver's license. So now is he considered documented? So you see how this undocumented immigrant creates so much confusion. It can make a good person who's doing the right thing look bad, and it can make a bad person who's not doing the right thing, who's not following the process, who's breaking the law, but got a driver's license, look good. And the same thing with that bad person example. People can come here with, for example, a J1 visa, which is an exchange visitor. As a student, you can come here and you can work here for a certain amount of time, for 3-4 months during the summer holidays. With that visa, you can go and you can get a Social Security card number. So now you have a person who might have overstayed that visa, so his visa is already expired, so now he's in the country illegally, but he still has a Social Security card because Social Security card does not expire. There is no expiration on the number, it's just there. So is she considered undocumented or not? You see? So I don't like this term in general, and I think it should be taken away completely, and this is the purpose of me doing this video, to kind of help you understand why it is not good. And I think it should be taken away from articles like this, at least the ones that want to appear serious and make sense, because I just showed you that it can create way too much confusion. Okay, done with the undocumented immigrants. Let's not use that, okay? Let's talk about the legal immigrants and illegal immigrants, and legal aliens versus illegal aliens, which is pretty much the same thing. Not between the two. So legal immigrants, legal aliens, same thing. Illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, pretty much the same thing. Okay, so why I said that there is no strict line. It would be really good if there was a strict line. But let's go back to our asylum case example, right? We have a person who came into the country legally with a visa, and then that person applied for an asylum status without having this visa expired. So that person was never in any kind of illegal status in the country. Applied for the asylum. Now he went for an interview, and during the interview something came up. The immigration officer asked for certain evidence, and the person was not able to provide the evidence, and a few weeks later he receives a denial in his asylum case. When you get denied in your asylum case, your case automatically goes on to removal proceedings, which is deportation. That's as you know, people know that word better than removal proceedings. Removal proceedings are basically deportation. It means you are ready to be taken out of the country because you are now here. Your asylum case has been denied, and obviously by then your visa probably expired. And if we go by that immigration process, whenever you do have a visa and you apply for an immigration process, that's it. That visa is no longer valid. Your whole immigration status changes from that visa status to the whatever status that you're applying for. If it's asylum, then you are in a pending asylum status. And once your case is denied, if it is denied, then that's it. You are now in the country illegally, if you think about it, because you're now subject to removal proceedings. So you see how a person who did everything legally can fall into that illegal category. But is that the end of the way? No, because immigration, USCIS, whenever you're working with your immigration officer, is an executive branch. If your case is denied, you can take the USCIS to court and then present your case in front of the judge and show them. That's the thing. There were a lot of changes in immigration, and I heard things that now apparently, because they are processing these new asylum cases faster, there is no way to actually appeal the decision. Might be just a hearsay, but again, double check that information. But anyway, as an example, at least that's how it was before. As an example that I'm using here, you can you can go to court, right, and then file withholding of removal. So now your status is withholding of removal. So you're not being deported, and you're fighting to get that asylum status and not be deported. You're presenting your case in front of the judge. So you see how person can go from legal immigrant to illegal immigrant for some time, and then back to legal immigrant. And I've seen that a lot. It's very common. You know, people can come to the country with their visas, a student visa, and then they can go to school, and then their school closes. And if you have a visa and your school closes, your student form, whatever it is, expires, and then your status expires. So now you're in a country illegally because you don't have a visa. And I've seen that happen. And then you can do something else and then have another case going, whatever. But in the meantime, you are illegal. So you went from legal to illegal and then back to legal. So it happened. And the same thing when people break the law of crossing the border, and then they're obviously coming in illegally. They are in the country illegally, but they can file for the asylum status. Now, I do not support it in any way. I believe that if you want to come into the country and if you want to live here, then at every step of the way, you have to find a way to do it the right way and do it legally. That's one of the reasons I have created this channel, because I believe in immigration. Immigration is good for people who are good and people who have good intentions and who want to do the right thing, right? You know, whenever people are willing to break the law, that already shows a little bit of a questionable moral character there, right? So, I hope this video was helpful. Now, you can definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you still have any kind of questions, you can definitely let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to address them in the next video. But I wanted to clear out that misconception about legal immigrants, illegal immigrants, and especially undocumented documents, because articles like this, they create a lot of questions. For example, now that you know the difference between legal immigrants and illegal immigrants, and that fine line between the two, you might ask the question, so who are they talking about? Are they talking about someone who crossed the border illegally and now is in the country illegally and never filed anything, never tried to do the right thing? Or are they talking about someone who came here legally and started the legal process and now just waiting for documents but doesn't have any kind of documents in the meantime? So again, as you can see, the difference, you know, it's very important to understand and not fall for that media misconception, because from the political perspective, whenever you're using terms like this, like undocumented immigrants, it becomes easy to play on both sides, right? People who are way too liberal or way too on the left, and they just want open borders and everybody just to come into the country and just do whatever, right? And people who are way on the right, where they completely against any kind of immigration and no immigrants, which there aren't as many people like that as on the left, judging by our current political layout, right? Because most of the people on the right, they do support immigration. They just stand for legal immigration compared to left who support any kind of immigration. Anyway, it's a personal, preference, but knowing the exact definitions, not really exact definitions, but understanding what they mean, hopefully it will help you to see things a little bit clearly. And if you found this video useful, please do subscribe. As you can see, it's still a growing channel. And like I said, if you have any questions, I would really appreciate them, because that shows me which direction I am going next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.